why when we change we need to leave people behind. And even better, like, it's not that we need to, it's something that spontaneously happens. I want to break down a little bit when it happens, how it happens, and how we can make this process a little easier. I feel like for any experience in life, the more knowledge, the more understanding we have about why we experience, the situation, and where the situation comes from, I think it gives us some tools to navigate experience a little easier. So I'm sure if you have been working on creating change in your life, or you are currently working on creating change, changing beliefs, changing behaviors, you might have experienced already that sometimes, if you take a little space to work on these things, you stop seeing people for a little bit, a couple of weeks or a month, something like that, and you try to you just hang out with these people again. I'm sure you have experienced that sometimes it feels very strange, like maybe they're talking about the same things that are related to the change you are creating in your life. Maybe you don't want to be judgmental anymore, and then you go and hang out with your group of friends and they're just only judging everyone and everything, and you have this feeling like, oh God, I just don't connect with these people anymore. So when it happens when we are creating change. A lot of the times, of course, is intentionally, but a lot of the times also it happens, people are not intentionally changing. I feel like most of us that are into spirituality and personal growth, we are very intentional with the way we change things in our personalities. But also, through life, experiences change us, and sometimes we don't even realize of that. And then, we go and hang out with family during Christmas, or, especially in those situations where you haven't seen your friends or family for a while, and you come back and see them, and you're like, I just don't feel the same way. So that's when it happens, when we have been changing, we have been going through a lot of experiences, we have done a lot of work on ourselves. And something that I learned recently, and I thought it was a very graphic, a very nice way to explain how it feels for other people, and how it might feel also for us when we have this interaction with others, when we have been changing a lot. And what happens is that our close people, family, friends, people around us, the people we hang out with, they create this image about us, right? Let's say in my case, I'm a creative, I'm a very sweet person, very flexible, and I love to make people happy, So they create this image, and when we are going through these changes, we start taking different forms, right? And we come back and hang out with these people, and the new form we have doesn't match the image they had about us. And the thing is, I would say, I have a very beautiful relationship with my mom. I feel like for the most part, most moms, I want to say, have that unconditional love for you. My empathy, if you don't have the same situation, I'm just trying to give an example, but my mom is going to love me unconditionally. Even if I look, super weird, super strange, she always is going to hold a space and appreciation and admiration for me, right? So she had a different image for me of who I was, and I go and have all these changes, and I come back, and she might feel a little weird, a little strange at first, and it takes usually time. It's just so interesting because I feel like I'm going through this at the moment, so I've been seeing, how people are feeling, how I'm feeling, and so that's why I'm able to explain it right now. So sometimes it takes a little time for them to, adapt, to adjust, to create that new shape, the new shape you are. I think the idea is that we don't create shapes, right? I feel like when we truly love unconditionally people, we don't need to create those boxes, those containers for people. We should allow them to be free and to be whoever they want to be, and to continuously change and transforming the human they want to be. But going back to the example so you guys understand me, that's the case with my mom. Because there's that connection of love and appreciation and admiration, right? But with other people that we don't have that deeper connection with, when they realize that you don't fit, oh, she's not like the very flexible person anymore, like she now has these very strong ideas and opinions, right? It's hard for them, especially I would say for people that love control, that need to control, that unfortunately learn that control gives them they get benefits from controlling situations. I'm not gonna get too deep into explaining what control is, but yeah, for these people usually it's hard and it takes time, and I would say that's exactly the kind of people that a lot of the time we have to leave behind. They cannot handle it. They're used to, a lot of the times what happens is that they're used to having the shrinked, the not very authentic version of yourself. They feel in a way comfortable with you being small. So you start expanding and you start being more authentic, you start getting bigger in your own energy, and they don't know how to handle it. I don't want to say this so you go, in your life and you start hating everyone. I feel like all these behaviors are very unconsciously. I don't think most people are aware. The fact that they cannot hold the space for your new version, I feel like that's a sign that the person is not very self-aware. So I also want to invite you to have a little compassion, and honestly, by you having compassion for them makes you even bigger and supports even more your process. So that's what happens. It's like, two different shapes trying to match, and they just don't fit, anymore. So this is, I explained already when it happens, how it happens, and now like a little tip I can give you, because from my own experience I know how uncomfortable this is, especially if you're coming from being a people's pleaser, an over empathic person. This is challenging, right? Because we are used to making everyone happy, right? We're used to changing our shape so we fit in their needs, in their ideas of who we should be. So be super gentle with yourself. Just create more awareness and slow down during these times. Give yourself all the self-care, all the self-love. And I think it's very important also to grieve if you are gonna, if you're in the position of losing these relationships, these friendships, allow yourself to feel that. I think it's very important to have that space of going through these emotions, honoring the person we used to be. It served us for a lot of time, probably. We survived, we got benefits from being that person, and honoring that old version of yourself. I think it's important, and it's also going to allow you to open up more your heart to receive and embody the new version of yourself, the new version you're creating. And by you doing the grieving and self-care and taking a space from I would say you're not gonna be hanging out more with the person, so just trying to focus, redirect your attention into new things, different things. I feel like in that process of grieving and letting the transformation happen in your life, we also start creating the space for the new things that can come into our lives. So I just wanted to share that at the end also, because I want you to know that I know it can be hard and lonely sometimes, letting a lot of people go, but there is always other energy, other things that come into our lives. That can be in the shape of other friendships, other relationships, or activities, experiences, knowledge. So that's all for today. I'm sorry. My Spanglish. I hope this video served you, and I hope to see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Peace and love.